With or without you, woman. Come
How
on.
dare you hit the button before
Come on, sister. Let's do this.
we're getting set up over here. Hello.
Hold on.
We're live.
We're simulcasting.
Yes.
For those that don't know, we
That's a
simulcast our
fancy
show.
word.
So we're live right now in our YouTube verse, and we're live on the Facebook universe.
I look right in the middle of the two cameras and hope for the best. So that's where I look, at the top of the little octopus head.
I look at King Kong, who's up there.
Okay, I try not to look at myself on the screens, but
I end up looking at the screen a lot.
Temptation to
Well, because
avoid.
they're checking messages and trying to respond
That's
to
true.
people at the same time. So I tend to, while you're talking, I'm looking at this. I try to talk to this.
And I'm trying to look at this for the Facebook comment. There's just so much happening.
Yes.
Anyways,
go ahead.
Welcome to this week's episode of Hollywood Matrimony Live. Make sure you check out our website, hollywoodmatrimony.com. Thank you so much for watching us right now on YouTube at Hollywood Matrimony. You can also find us on Facebook at Hollywood Matrimony, on Instagram at Hollywood Matrimony, and we are also on the Twitter at Hollywood Matter, MATR.
And on the YouTube.
I already said that.
I don't know what you said. I wasn't listening. I don't listen when you're talking.
Great, thanks.
You're married. I don't listen to you.
That means no one's listening. Look, people,
They're not listening to you.
Just go to the website. It's right there. Hollywood Matrimony.
The website's right there?
Please
That's
go to
the website?
That's the most important thing that
I thought that was a banner.
Everyone needs to know. Thank you so much for all the likes and all the comments, but go actually click on the link and let the page load.
Here's an issue
because that's how we get counts.
Yeah, here's the issue
And
that
all
most people do is
the
people.
publicity companies check that.
What is that dog doing?
He's getting comfortable.
People, I always appreciate everybody that comments on stuff and likes the articles we share and things like this. But there's this big misunderstanding, and not just for us, but a lot of people, that when someone shares something and you like it, that's awesome. Totally awesome. But if you don't go to the said site or watch that video or do that thing, it doesn't do them any good.
It's not counting.
Like, it helps our Facebook to show stuff, but if you're not if you already subscribed to our Facebook, your likes aren't really adding anything to it other than our appreciativeness that we know people are reading it.
I got to fix one thing.
You need to go to the website, read articles on the website, share the articles out of the website, go to the YouTube channel, make sure you're subscribing, make sure you're hitting like on those videos, whatever the case is. That's how you help us without having to give us money.
Yes, don't give us money.
We do everything.
Just watch the show.
Yeah, we do all of our shows,
there,
all of our work, all of the website.
I had to fix it because I don't like people seeing my legs.
I forgot there's a delay over there, and I just started doing this. Well, I hope it can't look down because I ain't got no pants on.
Well, they saw your legs.
Anyway, but we do all of our stuff with no ads on purpose because we don't have any monetary gain on doing any of our shows, our websites.
We just like movies.
Yeah, we just do it for fun. And sure, there's perks of getting the screenings and the Blu-rays and that stuff, but that's it. There's no money happening. Everything, all the site information, anything we host, anything we give away, some of it we buy out of all that stuff pay out of pocket, and we buy a lot of movies out of pocket. We don't see everything for free, so we don't buy movies, but I mean we do.
We pay this like the AMC list or whatever.
Yeah, but then if we go to Alamo, we pay out of pocket.
I love Alamo.
There's a lot of movies back here we just buy.
We buy movies. We love movies.
Anyway, the way you can help us is just traffic. We don't want money from anybody. All of our contests are free. Nobody has to pay anything. Subscribe to them. Just subscribe to our stuff. Give us traffic. Get your friends. Like, the more traffic we get, the more stuff you get.
We get more free stuff. We have how many boxes of stuff right now? Normally we have one good box for AllCon.
I have nothing's in boxes yet, but we're gonna have a big stack of stuff for AllCon this year. So when we do,
I'm gonna share
we host Superhero Sunday at AllCon every year.
Sunday.
Normally when she shows up, she hosts.
I will show up.
She's the actual host. I'm the grunt guy.
I'm the hostess with the mostest.
But outside of just the costumes, we give away Blu-rays and DVDs and digital codes and all this stuff that either, if they give me stuff for a contest, say if I put up a contest for a movie or something, if they give me a stack of them, I take one or two to the side to save them for AllCon. Then we have the other ones to give out to the people on the show. If it's just one, it goes to the show. And then other stuff that sometimes they just send me, say, hey, your stuff for the show, the convention this year. And then I reach out before like this might be the first year I don't have to reach out to anybody because I have so much stuff. I'll never give it all away.
Yeah.
So, but if you show up again, the AllCon thing outside of going to the convention in March and paying for tickets there, it doesn't cost you anything to come to our show or the Superhero Sunday costume contest show to just watch it. You just show up, you get a ticket.
Yes.
If you get a ticket, you're in the drawing.
Yeah, you don't even have to participate.
No,
you just have to be in
sit
the
there
audience.
and we give away stuff. until we have nothing left to give away. So there's been some years that it wasn't promoted very good, and we had like 5 people show up. I just put the box on the stage. I said, "Come over and take what you want."
The saddest one was when we were in that one hotel that we got the main
big fancy
auditorium stage, and we didn't have that many people sign up.
We had no one. That was we told the story.
Wasn't it like 3 people?
It was a new hotel. The problem was, before we get into the show today, it was a new hotel. There was issues with the hotel. They had too many things going on at the same time. Nobody knew where anything was at. So they had multiple costuming related things happening at the same time. And so when we set up for Superhero Sunday, that was a year you weren't there. I was by myself.
I'm so sad.
And they had this big open ballroom. I had my judges there. I had me. I was hosting it. We had 1 entry person, and we had 1 person watching. And I made the person watching enter. And he went in costume. So he just came up there, grabbed a pool noodle that was laying on the stage and a big wire looking thing, and told everybody he was Harrison Ford.
I love it.
And I gave them both content, and then I put the box out and I told them, take what you want. So they just took everything and split it up amongst themselves. So
that's nice.
Anyway, so moving on.
Sorry.
So we got a plethora of things today.
What?
So
that's a great look.
What are you doing?
I'm just trying to watch the video, but it's not.
Well, stop watching stuff. Leave things alone.
Because I want to see comments live as they're happening. Hello.
Okay, well, you don't have the video played about do that.
I do. I like that.
So we got like 4 things that we're talking about today. We got a new Blu-ray that you didn't get to watch because she doesn't do what I tell her.
I know. I'm so sorry.
So I'll be talking about it by myself. We have 2 theatrical releases.
I love you.
We have 2 theatrical releases. Look. 2 theatrical releases, and then 1 Amazon Prime film.
I didn't know you were wearing a Star Wars shirt. I should have guessed.
So, what would you like to discuss first?
I think let's just go in the order in which they're listed.
That's not necessarily the order.
That's the order they were listed on the site, so I was just going with it.
So you want to talk about the big one first, then?
Oh no, not at all.
Well, then we can't.
Let's start with this.
Okay. So there was a little movie that hit Amazon Prime. I think it got a little theatrical release, but very limited. Because I got a screening for it and couldn't go.
Aww.
And I was supposed to interview the kids that were in the movie.
Aww.
Which, now that I've seen the movie, it's one of those things that when I miss an interview, no, because I watched it with you. But what's funny is there's some of these movies that come along and I really want to go and do the interviews and I don't have time and something happens or whatever. Sometimes. And I'm like, that sucks, but oh well. And then I see the movie and I'm twice as upset that I didn't get to interview him because, especially this little girl, because I forgot it was the same little girl from Young Sheldon. Because the main girl is the one that's a little smart friend.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know, and we had just saw a new episode that focused on her, and then we watched this movie.
I know.
So tell us, what is the movie?
So this movie is called Troop Zero. It's available now on Amazon Prime. It's about a little girl who is kind of
weird. The
weirdo kid that nobody really wants to be friends with. And somehow she wants to be kind of in their little, it's not Girl Scouts, it's before Girl Scouts. Pennies or brownies or whatever. But
I forgot they called it something else. Yeah, but it's brownies.
It wouldn't be brownies. But, you know, she's trying to start her own troop because she doesn't fit in with the other girls in the main troop.
It's like in the 70s.
They're the fancy snooty girls.
Yeah.
And she's also dealing with, I guess,
the loss of her mother.
The loss of her mother.
Her dad's kind of a...
He's trying to
He's
do
a
the
good
best
dad, but he's kind of a...
Jim
Gaffigan plays him. And he's kind of a dunder-ahead loser kind of guy, but he's not like an abusive father. He's trying to be a good dad.
Yeah.
He's lost too.
Yeah, he is too. And she just doesn't... The only way she knows how to connect is to go outside and just talk to the stars. Because she says her mom's up there. She's just talking to her mom, and so that's kind of what makes her the weird kid.
And it's weird is it's a movie that's obviously about these kids, but it's got a great cast. You got Jim Gaffigan who plays the dad. You got Viola Davis who
works for the dad.
Is that what it was? Okay, I missed out on some of that stuff. So
he's a lawyer, and she works for him.
She basically becomes the den mother for their new troop, and then you have Allison Janney, who plays the den mother to the snooty troop.
The snooty girls.
And so you also have that whole racism situation, feminism, you know, because it's the 60s or 70s or whatever, 70s, and it's still about the whole how women place should be. You learn to be a proper lady so that you can take care of your family and your husband and cook and clean and have kids. And it's not meant to be insulting. It's just a time.
It's a time period.
It's a time period. And it's Allison Janney's character who is saying that, well, you've got to learn to be, this is going to teach you to be a lady and a proper woman instead of this hooligans and whatever that you are.
And so she has to gather kind of a misfit group of friends to create a troop because you have to have at least 4 girls. And so there's the one girl that's like the chunky girl.
She's my favorite. She's grunts.
Like,
yeah, she's like the tough, she's like the muscle to the tough chick.
And then you have the one girl that has like the patch on her eye.
But it's on her glasses.
It's so bizarre. And then you have another little black girl who, her name is something.
But she's the tough kid.
She's the tough kid.
So the little chubby girl is like basically.
Her name is Hell No.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the little girl's name.
She says Hell No all the time. But she's like the tough kid, and the little chubby one's her best friend. Mm-hmm. And it's like her henchman.
Yeah. And then you have the one little boy who wants to be in the troop. Because he kind of identifies feminine. As a girl, I guess, or wants to dress like a girl.
So it's interesting using that time period and using that same idea of things going on.
Because Allison Janney's like, there can't be boys in the troop. And they're like, there's nothing in the rule book that says. And that reminded me of our friend Scott. Because he was a brownie.
Oh, yeah. I always forget about that.
It's so funny. Our friend Scott grew up. I guess he had his sister was older.
And we were sitting somewhere one time, and he told us, he goes,
like, "Yeah, I was a brownie."
I was a brownie. We were like, What? It's like, no, you weren't. You were a Cub Scout. And I'm thinking he just was saying the wrong thing.
No,
he goes, no. That's the troop I was put in because that was my sister and his mom or whatever. And they just put him in that, and it was okay. And they were poor, and
they're like, "That's what you're gonna do." So he was a brownie, and I'm like, "That."
And he had nothing. It had nothing to do with in this case, obviously, it's because Scott is the furthest thing from a girr. It's nothing about.
Yeah, no, this little boy I think identifies as a girl, which is fine.
In his case,
I like that they did that.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with sexual orientation or anything. That was just the lot of life because he was poor.
Well, and they're like, "This is what we're doing, so you can be in it too." And I think he even said he had to wear his sister's hand-me-down brownie shirt from the year before.
I was a Cub Scout.
I was nothing.
My mother was at one of my den mothers one time. And during a freaking meeting, you have the little stupid meetings or you talk about what crafts or whatever nonsense you're going to do.
Did y'all do the the car race?
Hell yeah.
My brother did that
Hell
too.
Yeah. But not when my mom was a den mother. We did that one time, and I swore I was going to quit if she was the den mother again. Because during one of the meetings we were having at my house, I guess, I don't even remember what I did. And I'm sure I did it. I'm not arguing that point. My mother sent me to my room. I'm like, you can't send
troop meeting?
Yeah, I said, you can't send me to my room during a troop meeting. She goes, yes, I can, because you're in my house.
Oh, my goodness.
And so I'm like sending them back in the house in my room. And at the time we lived in
That's embarrassing.
It was when we were, fairly poor. So it was like a 2-bedroom, 1-bath house with the purple shag carpet.
Wow.
And I'm in my room like that. And I can hear them doing activities. And I'm like, what is this? Why are you even the den mother? If you send the kid away that is yours, why are you helping these other children?
That is hilarious.
It was horrible.
It's funny.
Sorry.
Anyway, sorry. That's funny. Okay, anyway.
That was relevant to this. Troop Zero. So what? You knew nothing about this movie.
Had no idea what was even happening.
And I knew very little. I knew about the existence and the cast, and I had watched about half the trailer and got sidetracked. Never went back to it. I only watched it because the same people that did the screening sent me an email that said, "Hey, it's hitting Amazon Live, Amazon Prime this week or whatever." And I was like, "Hey, it's a quick one we can watch while we're busy at home to have for the show." That's the only reason I watched it. Just a movie to fill for the show.
I actually really liked it.
It is a great little movie.
It's very heartwarming, I guess, and it's a little sad because the little girl lost her mom and just kind of deal with that, and so she feels out of place anyway. But she is a little bit weird too. Yeah. So that's double out of place. But then she finds this group of friends that kind of probably feel all out of place too.
You know what? Some of my favorite movies are movies like that are like the ones I enjoy the most when they. You get there and all the characters are weird. The weirder the better.
I love weird kids.
Yeah, and especially when they're kids and they're quirky. Not the stereotypical you have the goth kid and you have the bully kid. I like when they have some weird quirk.
Yeah.
Like in this case, the little boy that identifies as a girl, he's not weird. No. It's just his personality.
That's her best
friend.
But
he likes to sing, and so he does all these things that are just so out of left field.
So dramatic and fun.
Yeah, and then she's just weird.
The main little girl's really good.
Yeah, because she's the one from Young Sheldon.
McKenna Grace. She's
but that little kid, the little chubby girl, which is the muscle of the thing, she's the genius of the bunch. I mean, for me, not like in the movie, doesn't come out to be super smart, but she's so funny. She's so entertaining, and she grunts. Like we were talking about, we were going to start grunting at stuff. What else was she in? Does it say anything? Let's scroll back down.
She's a YouTube star.
Oh, is she?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she said she performed Aretha Franklin's Respect.
Franklin, she's in
We'll have to look that up later on.
She hasn't done very much yet.
Oh, she was an episode of The Guest Book? Mm-hmm. Oh, I love that show.
Yeah, so she's just getting started. So good for her.
But yeah, but
her name is Joanna Colon.
And I think it's PG, so it's good for all ages, despite the one girl's name.
Yeah, you should actually have your kids watch it. I think it's very good for kids to, I think, first of all, just to learn to be kind to people. Because that's the thing you see is like you get the bratty rich girls are mean to these kids, and for no reason, just because they're not in their group, you know.
And the adults aren't much better, but what I did like about this movie is there wasn't this long, drawn out thing of the adults being mean to the kids. It was more about the social hierarchy and how you're expected to behave, not directly look at that kid and you suck. Like a lot of those movies are like that, where the kids are mean, but then the parents and the adults are mean as well. And these adults, while mean, they weren't mean from a standpoint of just to be mean, or they weren't just racist. It was more about, look, this is how things are.
Yeah.
You know, and so Allison Janney's character has some of those moments where you don't like her because she's being a dick, but then she's also, we don't go through this whole thing of having to try to turn them because they have epiphanies of certain things and they realize certain things. And it also doesn't have the Hollywood happy ending that I thought we were going to get.
Yeah, no.
Instead, it has a real life ending, not happy ending, a real lifestyle ending that still is heartwarming and works.
Yeah.
You know. But because not everything ends on a good note in life.
Well, I wish it did, and I wish they would spoon feed me the story. Just kidding. Anyways,
what?
Hey, what are you saying?
Nothing.
Anyways, I think you should check it out. It's a really cute little movie. Everybody's super cute in it.
It's on Amazon Prime right now. So if you have Amazon Prime, it's already included. So just go look up Troop Zero.
Go watch it. Right.
Didn't somebody in the movie go, I didn't even know that was a number?
Yes. because on purpose, she didn't want them to be a troop. So she's like, well, the only number left is 0.
Yeah. And so they took it.
I'm like, okay.
It worked really well.
It worked good. You should check it out. It's a fun movie. Next.
I'm tired.
Next, tell me about this movie you watched.
All right.
I didn't get to see it yet.
So this other one was this movie called Jexi. And it was a movie I really wanted to see when I first saw the trailer. It's Adam Devine. Not Adam Levine.
Not Adam Levine or Loretta Devine.
Yes, it's their son, Adam Devine.
That's awesome.
It's Adam Devine, Rose Byrne,
Jackie Q.
Yes, Wanda Sykes, Michael Pena.
Oh, I like him too.
Who is going to be is the new Mr. Rourke in Fantasy Island?
The plane. I know it's not that guy.
Rourke is the man. And then what is the girl's name?
Wasn't that Montalban?
Yeah, that's Ricardo Montalban.
Yeah.
Montalban.
Montalban.
Oh, hold on, I'm gonna find this other girl's name. Justin Hartley's in it. Alexandra Shipp. That's her name.
Okay.
She's the other girl. Alexandra Shipp is currently most known for playing Storm in the more recent X-Men movies.
Oh, okay.
That does lightning.
Yes, I understand.
The last few. That's her. Even though you may not recognize her, that's her.
Yeah, I don't recognize her.
She doesn't have the white hair. Anyway, so the story, if you don't know what Jexi is, the story is about a guy who he essentially gets a new phone, and it has the Jexi app, I guess, if you want to call it, which is similar to Alexa and Siri and all that kind of things. He's one of these guys that his whole life revolves around his life through his phone or his computer. Like all of his friends are like we're talking to you now. It's as if only people we had socializing with would be this. And the rest of the time he's at home alone by himself or at work.
That's sad.
And like there's a scene where he's talking to this guy next to him at work. And the guy's like, oh man, that's a great idea. He goes, how long have you been here? And he goes, I've been here next to you for 3 years.
Oh.
You know, Michael Pena owns the company they work for, and it's like a website that makes lists and does stuff like that. It's one of those clickbait sites to get traffic, right? And Wanda Sykes plays the store clerk where he buys the phone, so he has to keep interacting with her. And then Alexandra Shipp, she's the new girl he meets. Rose Byrne is just the voice on the phone.
And so she's Jexi.
Yes. So it's essentially like the movie Her, where Scarlett Johansson was her.
Yeah.
That it's almost the same idea and story as Her.
But he falls in love with her.
Yeah, this is more of he's being tormented.
I got you.
Because Jexi is falling in love with him.
And
so it's funny. So it's got a nice social commentary about the focus of phones and making everything do it yourself.
Well, we are such a slave to
separated between a real life relationship, and like there's moments, and it's funny. It wasn't as funny as I thought it was going to be. Like I think I thought it was going to be over the top funny, but what I didn't expect it to end up being more of a romantic comedy. But it's a rated R romantic comedy, and the Rose Byrne stuff with Jexi, that's where it gets all kind of out of line because she controls his entire life.
Yeah.
Because she has access to all of his social security numbers and everything, and she tells him, if you do such and such, I will destroy your life. And she does things to him, and she turns off alarms when he makes her mad, so he's late to work. She sends out penis pics when he didn't do something to like his entire office. Gets him fired. So she does. It's not really a spoiler because it's an ongoing. Because the real story is about him meeting this girl by accident.
Storm.
Yes, he met Storm
from X-Men.
Aurora Monroe. That's Storm's name. You didn't know that, did you?
No, I didn't.
You just thought her parents' name was Storm.
Her name is Storm.
No, that's not her name.
Well, you could name her Storm.
Did you know that Storm married the Black Panther?
No, I did not.
She was the queen.
That's awesome.
She was the queen of Wakanda.
Nice. You go, girl.
And now they're all in the same movie universe.
They are. They could marry themselves.
So Alexander Shipp may be marrying Chadwick Boseman soon.
There you go.
Anyway, but it's really more about him actually finding a personal relationship with another human being and trying to separate himself from technology, but in using the idea of the app as kind of, and there's never an explanation of how she's self-aware. It's not even necessary. You don't even think
it doesn't matter again.
Because at one point, because nobody else seems to know about her.
Oh.
They know Jexi exists, but everybody thinks she's just like Alexa. And she talks trash about Alexa and Siri. It's like, oh, well, one of them has a drinking problem and the other one is this, so.
Wow.
But it is entertaining. It's funny. It's topical because it's dealing with so much social commentary of, like I said, of the technology that's kind of taken over and made us zombies, but also what you're missing in personal connection by staying on that phone.
It's true.
And it does things to the point. It also makes you think about how much of your life is in these devices.
Well, that's what they're saying, that now your phone is your most dangerous thing that you have.
This movie, as funny as it might be, or as entertaining and as jokingly it is terrifying because there's a moment where like he's running down the street and there's an ATM and money is just shooting out of the ATM and that's all the money from his bank account. All because he pissed her off. So it's that kind of stuff that you're dealing with. And then also dealing with, not being able to turn it off and it doing whatever it wants and it being able to just go to a different computer. So
and because sometimes we'll be talking and the watch will be like, I didn't catch that. And I'm like, I didn't say anything.
Yeah, Alexa does it. We've had stuff TV.
Yes, Alexa will just start talking.
We've had TVs just turn on in the house before. It's just weird.
It's on the app. Well, I think I might have done that once.
One day I was in the thing just started turning on. I was alone. I'm like,
oh, it was Alexa.
I went outside.
Well, sometimes the watch will start voice dictation. It'll read back to you what you were talking about. And I'm like, I didn't tell you to do that. So they're always listening. So it's kind of creepy.
So it's a fun but kind of creepy movie, but it is a good
funny
social commentary.
Creepy.
Rose Byrne's hilarious because she's just so over the top with the voice, and you buy her voice as that. But if you like Adam Devine, there's a great sequence, like after credit sequence or mid credit sequence, that kind of is the second half of the story. Once it's all resolved, there's like a whole new section of it in the credits. It's actually pretty funny. So it's available. Jexi is available now on Blu-ray and DVD. Check it out if you're interested.
Okay, there you go. Thank you so much. Next.
All right, so moving on. All right, so we have two more. We have
two more.
Science fiction-y
thriller,
and we have the big full-on action 90s type.
I think we go with our thriller, whatever. So the next movie we watched was Underwater, starring Kristen Stewart
and T.J. Miller
and a whole bunch of who's the British dude?
Which one?
The
older guy?
Yeah,
Vincent Castle.
I like him. He's good people.
I don't think he's British. I think he's French.
Well, I don't know what he is, but he's like in good.
I don't know. I think he's French.
I think he actually. You know what
he's the one that I think was in the Beauty and the Beast French movie too.
He's French. Okay. Anyway, so the movie Underwater stars Kristen Stewart. I guess she's some sort of a scientist, whatever. Just it doesn't matter. And as you see in the trailer, the underwater station they're living in starts to go.
And the moment, just so you know, so what you're walking into, the moment you see in the trailer when the walls start exploding, that's the opening of the movie. Mm-hmm. That movie like jumps.
It goes.
Yeah, there's no
preamble. It's like just go.
What are you doing?
Vincent Cassel.
Whatever.
I want to say Cassel. Anyhow,
you gonna click on him and see if he was French or.
I can.
Pretty sure he is.
I think he is. Now that you said that, I think he is because I remember him in something else. Oh, I remember that.
Born in Paris.
Yeah.
I don't know what that pose was.
We're gonna take
this was kind of a broken pose.
Oh, from Black Swan. That's what I'm remembering him from. Anyway,
I
like him. He's good. He's so good. Anyway, so yeah, that's basically what happened. So yeah, immediately we kind of get into the action.
Yeah, the movie's only like an hour and a half, so it makes no time. They don't introduce you to anybody. There's no build up. You kind of slowly
learn their names.
Yeah, and what's interesting about this movie is it's not even important. No. You don't need their names. You don't need to know what their jobs are. You don't need to know about their lives because it's really about this group of people just trying to survive.
Yeah.
And it has a science fiction twist to it, but it could have been just a standard disaster movie and worked just as well.
Yeah, I agree because when you get into the movie or what you see in the trailers, the station's just like coming apart and we don't really know why. So that in itself is just, we got to get to the next station. We got to get here. We got to get escape pod. We got to do this. So just normal action disaster flick.
But you also see in the trailer gigantic tentacles and things like this.
Yes, there's some
so you don't know if it's like octopuses.
Octopi.
I know, but I like to say pusses.
Octopuses.
Octopus or giant squids or sharks or or if it's something more sinister.
We don't.
You don't really know. Essentially. One of the big complaints I heard about the movie before I saw it, and it is completely accurate, it is essentially almost identically Alien underwater.
Yeah, a little bit.
So the same kind of the first Alien, where the first Alien is more of a horror thriller thing with a lot of build up before the last half, and you get all the crazy action stuff. Where Aliens was more of an action movie with the horror elements. Yeah. This one's very much like that. And if I had any complaints about the movie, it is very slow paced at times.
It is.
And for a movie that's an hour and a half, it felt long sometimes. Not necessarily a bad way.
Yeah.
But it felt like, and I think that they were by design trying to build tension, trying to make you somewhat claustrophobic. They were trying to not just every beat be action, but deal with, because the visuals of the way it's shot and underwater stuff is amazing.
Yeah. Because
the whole movie's underwater, but it's so dark underwater. It's not like scuba diving. They're so far down. They're like, what, 7 miles?
7 miles down, which, by the way, let's never do that.
Yeah, I'm sure you can't swim. So if you did that, you probably get drowned and died and sunk.
Well, just because I would freak out. I think I'd panic. But there were, the credit, the beginning of the movie tells you, like, it's 800 pounds of pressure or whatever. Yeah. Like, how could anything, like any building, sustain that? But I guess you can if you build it correctly. I don't know. This is just craziness.
It was a good movie. I was really excited to see it because I thought it was going to be more intense.
It was intense to me, dude, because I can't swim, and
I think that's the difference on the experiences. I can swim. This stuff doesn't.
I would not go underwater.
I don't get scared at scary movies. One, I can swim, so I don't worry about the water.
I can't go underwater.
We used to, when I was a kid, we'd go out near the dam, and it was 400 feet deep. We'd jump out of the boat, no life jacket, swim around. We're not swimming 400 feet underwater, but we're just like, la, 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 I'm not worried about it.
I'm not trying.
But from your
I'm not trying to get under the water. I'm not trying to put on a spacesuit and go under the water because that's not going to work. Water's going to get in. I don't care what you build. Water will get in, and you're gonna be in your little suit, and water's going to be
like when we went to the Dominican Republic, and did you snorkel with me at all?
I did not there.
I know you've been snorkeling, but you did it like 3 foot of water, didn't you?
No, it was deep.
Oh, where were you at?
In Bali.
Oh, okay.
But the water is so calm and quiet, and it's crystal blue, like you can see everything. But I put the life jacket on backwards I had my snorkel thing. I was freaking out. It took me about 10 minutes.
Backwards so it holds you up to the top?
Yes. But it took me like 10 minutes just to put my head down and make sure like water wasn't going to get in. And because I couldn't swim, I was lying like this. And I grabbed people would just pass me from person to person. And one of the guys like, I'm going to throw bread so the fish comes. So he threw bread in the water. And I'm like, look at the fish.
You're trying to blow the fish away?
No, I'm breathing up the snorkel because, I don't want to die from drowning. So I'm like, look at that fish.
But as you talk, you're going to pull water in.
Well, I didn't. My battery's going to die.
But yeah, so like when we were in the Dominican Republic, I was trying to get you.
That water was choppy.
In the Dominican Republic? Mm-hmm. It was fine, but you could also stand in that water because under the water, which I was trying to explain to her, but she refused to listen to me.
I was freaked out by then.
Where the reef that we were at, there were these gigantic, basically plots of land underwater that you could just stand on. So you were never.
Were there really that?
Yes, I stood on them. Mm. Anyway, so but going back to that is you're 7 miles down. Where are you going?
I have to get my battery. I'm sorry. Battery.
Oh, you're underwater. It's dark. It's dingy. There's the only light is coming from the lights on their helmets. So it's that darkness alone becomes a character. So you do get a little more nerve wracking because you don't know what's around the next corner, what's going to come out at you. My only issue kind of came, like I said, it was just a little slow pace. There's a long time where nothing's really happening. And even with the tension build, it never really jumped back into your face. And I think that's what I was expecting. I actually enjoyed the movie. Outside of it being, like I said, pretty much alien, I actually enjoyed it still. And we talked about this when Charlie's Angels came out. I used to not be able to stand Kristen Stewart. And I think over the last few years, same with Robert Pattinson. I think they both kind of found themselves.
Yes.
And have gotten past Twilight. Because I hated, or didn't hate, but I really did not enjoy Charlie's Angels. But she was great in it.
You hated Twilight.
Oh, those movies are just trash. Not even good trash.
And it made you go to the Twilight Marathon for one of the new movies. And this guy is like a thing full of women. And they're like, ah! And Bobby's like,
well, and we've told it here before a few times because that was my best moment too. I think it was for Twilight 2, right?
Yes.
So we went to the double feature. So there's the first movie ends, you have a break in between the little intermission, and then it goes to the next one. And so I thought, okay, like when the first Twilight movie came out, I wanted to see it because Cam Galante was in it, and I like him, and the movie looked interesting. It was like, okay, vampires, werewolves, let's do this. Whatever. What is his name? I just went blank. What is the werewolf's name? Anyway,
doesn't matter.
I had been following his martial arts career at the time, so I was like, oh, I'm excited to see him too. And then I come out of the movie, I'm like, this movie is trash. And so I had not watched it since it came out. What are you laughing at? I hadn't watched it since it came out, so I thought, you know what? I'm gonna go in now that I know what I'm expecting. I'm gonna go with new eyes. Maybe I can find something I enjoy about it. Maybe the second one's going to be better because sometimes they improve it. Because that first one was a smaller movie. They were still trying to find its audience, And that first movie ended. Taylor Lautner. The first movie ended, and we'd go into intermission, and I looked at my wife. Mind you, there's these other ladies around. And I was like, how is it possible to hate a movie more the second time? The looks I got, and these were like people, my mom's age.
They were grown women.
These were not like teeny bopper children going,
over Taylor Lautner. I felt kind of like, ew.
He was a child during that movie.
Nice.
The first one, he was only like 18 or something.
Chinas.
Anyways,
we're back to
Underwater
with Kristen Stewart.
But she's really good.
She was good in this. Yeah. I liked her. I thought she did a really good job. I wish there had been an opportunity for more tension or stress or something on her part, but I don't think the story allowed for it.
No, well, see, that's the thing is I was hoping more tension in the execution of what was happening.
Yeah.
So you felt more tension. I liked what they did with the characters. Nobody ever really fully were straight-laced or scared because they didn't have time. Every time something like there's one girl in the movie, part of the movie where she's like, I can't do that. And somebody just has to hit her. It's like, shut up, and they have to hit her in the face. And then it's like, sorry. But she realized, okay, I had to.
Yeah, but there's moments for some more like claustrophobia and no one acknowledges it. Like they're just like, and
but they may not have been more claustrophobic. And I think that's a problem when you're doing a story where the people that are there are supposed to be there. It takes away from
me feeling
the fear of the claustrophobia. Like, you're right. There's this massive claustrophobia moment of them crawling through a hole, and it's touching them. It's not just crawling. They're not concerned, but I think it's because they've been sitting underwater in this place, and so they're not going to be.
I felt like there should have been more concern there. Obviously,
but that was your fear.
I know some people didn't survive. I thought there should have been more fear or sadness there.
That I agree. People didn't seem to care that they cared at the moment, and then they just moved on.
Yeah, or that some people left and they got left behind. There should have been more concern there. That some of the things were just breaking up and we don't know what's happening. There should be more concern there. Or maybe I'm just overly cautious and suspicious.
Well, I think in your case, that's the thing is we're having two different experiences
I'm
here.
Having a totally different experience.
This is a perfect example of filmmaking because this movie is playing on your fears.
Yeah, because
I'm just watching a movie about people underwater.
I'm like claustrophobic. There's dead people. People left me behind. Why is this happening? Am I going to drown to death? Now there's a tentacle thing. I would be freaking out.
Yeah, and I'm more looking at, this is cool that he shot this movie.
Yeah, the cinematography was really good.
It is, but that's what I'm seeing. I'm like, this is really cool how they shot this. Oh, I love the designs of this.
And I'm thinking, don't put that helmet on. You're going to drown inside your helmet. I've seen this movie.
I was like, I'm so glad they kicked right off the bat when didn't have to shit around and wait for things.
That part was good. But then there were moments where it got, like, we're go. It's like,
I said a little bit of this when you were when you left me, but it gets slow paced and nothing's really happening.
That's okay.
But it didn't feel. My problem with those moments is I don't mind a slow paced moment if it's building something. Yeah. These just felt like this is just for the audience to breathe for a second. We're gonna put filler here, and then we're gonna move on with the story. And it didn't feel like it moved on with the story.
Well, and I liked the ending. The ending was good. Kind of the last scene that we're getting to, all that's happening. I thought it was good. And then
I'm just telling you, if you go to see it, it's Alien.
Pretty much.
You're just underwater.
That's okay.
So
there you go, underwater.
But I'm a fan of movies like this that don't give you explanations. And they did a bunch of stuff at the end of the movie that they could make another one.
Yeah, maybe.
Because of the way there's a lot of, like, this isn't a spoiler, but there's like newspaper stuff showing.
I think we could even prequel
showing like that, but showing like the government covered up and says, "Oh, disaster! When nobody's leaking stuff. There's redacted statements and this and this." And you already know everything that's happened, so you know why they're not telling nobody.
Yeah.
Rebuilding has started, and you're like, what?
Dumb.
So
always dumb.
The movie didn't do that well, so I
just so you know, don't go 7 miles under the ocean. We are not meant to be there.
Or 47 meters down, apparently.
Yes, just leave it alone, people. Stay on the land. God made land on purpose.
Yeah, so we can dive off of it into the ocean.
No.
Have you never cliff dive?
No, why would I ever do anything?
Jump off a cliff?
Babe, I won't even jump into a pool. Babe, I won't even put my face in the shower.
You're missing out, sister.
I won't even put,
if we had the high dive in a public pool, I'd jump off.
Right now, when I took the shower, I felt like I got water in my nose, and I was freaking out.
I used to jump off my neighbor's house into the pool. I would jump off the house and pull my pants down and moon the neighbors as I was flying through the air.
I don't even put my face in the water, so that's me.
It's ridiculous. That's why you smell that way.
No, I get a washcloth and wash.
Like she always smells great until you get to her face and it smells weird.
No, because I wash my with a washcloth. I will not put my face in the shower. That's dumb.
You're so dumb.
I know.
You're so dumb.
That's because I'm scared of drowning.
You're so dumb. Look, the only people that drown in 3 feet of water are people that deserve it.
Well, the Lord knows He will protect me.
I know, X. Don't start yelling at me.
Just
I'm joking.
kidding.
I know things happen. It's not okay. Blah, blah,
We're
blah.
sorry. We hope no one
I'm
dies.
not sorry. Anyway, moving on.
Anyways, next movie.
Underwater's in theaters now.
Go check it out. It's a fun movie.
So the last one has been one I've been super excited to see.
I've been waiting forever.
I love this franchise. And this franchise has been a long time since the last movies. We're talking about the Bad Boys themselves.
Bad boys.
So to give you an idea how long we've been waiting, the original Bad Boys movie came out in, it's not here.
1995.
The 95? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right, because they had that contest thing.
It up.
Okay. 1995 is when the first one came out. It's the movie that made Will Smith an action star. I think he might have done Independence Day already, but this one made him more of a kind of an adult action star because it was rated R. He was cussing. You know, people started taking him serious as an action star, not just, hey, it's Will Smith. You know, Martin Lawrence was already an established comic and if you look at it, it's interesting how it changes over the years. Look at this. I don't know if you've ever caught this. So if you look at the boxes here, on here it says Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, right? And the second one says Martin Lawrence and Will Smith. If you look at the new poster, it says Will Smith, Martin Lawrence, because the tide has changed of who's popularity and who's the powerhouse. The original Bad Boys movie was made. Will Smith was in the movie because Martin Lawrence wanted him there.
Yeah.
He's the one that went to get him. The original movie, I just saw an interview recently. There's the weirdest thing is the original movie Bad Boys was supposed to be
so bizarre.
John Lovitz and Garth. I just went blank. Dana Carvey. It was supposed to be John Lovitz and Dana Carvey. And
it would have been slapstick.
Yeah. So clearly it was a comedy, a hardcore comedy. They got retooled and whatever happened, they left and different things changed. And Martin Lawrence was attached. He's the one that told them, let's try to use Will Smith. Will Smith is like, I won't do that, you know, and convinced him to do it, and the rest is history. So 1995 was when we got our first Bad Boys thing. For whatever weird reason, it took forever for us to get Bad Boys 2, which is what year was Bad Boys 2?
2003.
2003. So from 95 to 2003, we had to wait to get Bad Boys 2. And Bad Boys 2 stepped the game up, went crazier, but very much, this series very much reminds me of the Lethal Weapon franchise. Whereas no matter how far apart we got, they always brought back all the same kids.
Yes,
the same
which
captains.
I appreciate, by the way.
You know, this one didn't bring back, these didn't necessarily bring back the same other police officers outside of the captain. That's the only Miss Mark, but they brought back the same captain, Joe Pantoliano, Will Smith, Martin Lawrence, obviously all of them. Martin Lawrence's characters, his family, his wife and kids and all that stuff kept coming back. So you get to see them grow with them.
Yeah.
So now we jump 2020.
Yes.
And we're finally
there's so much time between all these movies, you guys?
This movie has been in discussion for a long time. We
took too long.
As someone who runs a movie website, even before that, we've been hearing about Bad Boys 3 happening. And then it not happening. And then it was happening. Then it wasn't happening. And if you look at, it's like, what, 17 years or something like that since the last one?
I'm checking 2003. But I'm telling you, between the first and the second one.
3,996 days? Years?
So it took 8 years for the first one, right?
Right. And
then it took 17 years for the next one? That's so dumb.
So... But apparently,
why?
And here's what's even is an interesting tidbit on this whole series before we talk about the movies themselves, is obviously the star power changed. Will Smith was a megastar now. He's not as powerful at the box office as he once was, which happens to a lot of them. But, you know, he had a major hit with Aladdin, but that's Disney, so it's not so much. He didn't have a major hit with Gemini Man, despite it being a good movie.
It was good, you guys. I know it may not be for everyone. That's okay.
I like Gemini Man. Some of the CGI was lit in. There was a few.
The action was good, though. And
there was a few moments in the movie that's kind of. But so anyway, but now it's Will Smith, I'm sure, is the reason. And they got it. They shot it at the Tyler Perry Studios, which is a new big thing that is a whole story in itself, but that's a whole other thing.
And I love seeing Miami because we've been there so many times. It's like, Miami just seems so familiar to me. I love it.
Well, and I like very much like Lethal Weapon 4 is what this movie felt like, is they're getting older. They're playing the jokes of their age now, but they're still badass cops.
Like, I can't run.
Like, it was funny because if you remember the Lethal Weapon movies, by the time we got to Lethal Weapon 3, it was always, you know, Danny Glover's getting too old. He's trying to retire and all this stuff. By the time we get to 4, they're both old.
Yeah.
And they're both complaining about their bones and this. This movie is doing a lot of that, where the difference is Martin Lawrence is still the comedy aspect, and he's playing up that he's getting older and he's dealing with his stuff. There's a running glasses gag that was really funny. Will Smith's character isn't dealing with that aspect, but he's dealing with the mentality of life aging and being alone and all this stuff. If you know the story, Mike Lowry was the ladies' man. He's the Playboy ladies' man, so he's got nothing but himself. And Martin, Marcus. So going into this, let's talk before we get into the new one. We rehashed some stuff because she didn't remember what she had and hadn't seen.
Right.
So what did you think of the first movie when you watched it?
Rewatching it, I remembered parts of it. I liked it. It was a good movie. I thought it was a interesting story. I like we're getting to know these two guys as partners, and They really care for each other, but
it's a dysfunctional relationship.
Very dysfunctional, and I feel it's kind of like you and your friends, where you're like, "Oh, you're dumb, you're stupid," but you love each other, and that's what you get out of this.
What are you saying?
You just do. Like and then I didn't remember how skinny and no hips. What's her name is?
Oh, Téa Leoni.
Téa Leoni back in the day. She was way too thin then, but it was a good movie. It was a good action movie, and I like that it sets us up. All our characters and the captains and the other cops that don't like them because they don't ever play by the books. And it's just so funny when the captain's like, why are you shooting up all these cars? And why are you doing all this? And that's just them.
Yeah,
Their team is like the violent, have to shoot everybody team.
Well, Mike Lowry shoots everybody.
Mike Lowry.
So then we jump into Bad Boys 2.
Yeah.
Which, leading into this, Bad Boys 2 is probably one of my top 5 action movies. Like these kind of action movies. Not necessarily martial arts action, but just straight up shooting, gun toting, bullet flying action. Bad Boys 2 is on my top list. What did you think of Bad Boys 2?
I liked Bad Boys 2. This is the one I don't think I'd ever seen, actually. I'd seen the first one. I really liked the second one. I liked the action in it. I like that we get introduced now to what's her name? Gabrielle Union's in
his
it.
Sister.
Yeah, his sister.
If you don't know, she has a TV series. I think it's on Spectrum TV called LA's Finest. And it's her and Jessica Alba, I believe it is. And it's a spinoff from the Bad Boys franchise. She's playing the same character.
Okay, cool.
She's playing her, and it's, I guess, them doing their own thing.
Oh, yeah, there you go. She's still Sydney Burnett.
Yeah, it's that
that's cool. I didn't even know. Where have I been?
Sadly, we can't watch it because we don't have that.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So I'm waiting for them to release it so I can just buy it because I need it for my Bad Boy set.
Bad Boys,
anyway.
Bad Boys. Anyways, I liked it, and I like that, we get through their lives also evolving because we get so involved in Marcus's life because he's the one that's married and has
family
kids and a family and but then the bigger stories going on now with Gabrielle Union and the things she's investigating, and so I liked that one too. It was really good.
What's funny is the action in the second movie is so big. Like, I think it was stressing her out.
It's like
she was like, "Is this
when
still
is this
going
gonna
on?"
end? Because it was just
that whole car chase shootout.
Well, the first shootout. Well, just the first one too. With is this the one that starts with the KKK people?
With the Klan.
That one was crazy. And he's like, "You shot me in the butt."
Yeah.
And then
they make a new joke of it in the movie now.
So the Haitians, Jamaicans.
So my concern with the new movie is one, how long it had been since we had the last one. Martin Lawrence doesn't do a lot anymore.
No.
And I think it's because he doesn't have to. I think he's going back into stand-up too.
No good.
But I think he's in a place kind of like Eddie Murphy was, where he does what he wants. He pops in a movie from time to time.
I think he's probably just with family, right?
Yeah. Not because he can't get work. I just think he doesn't. He did that Law TV show briefly.
Yeah.
With Kelsey Grammer. But anyway, so he goes back, but it makes me concerned. Like, are they going to have the same chemistry? And this is also the first one that was not directed by Michael Bay. Is it going to have the same vibe? Are they going to be able to capture the same stuff? What are we going to do here to make it work?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So what did you think of the new one?
I really enjoyed the new one. I thought it was still action-packed. Loved it. We still have the good chemistry between the two of them. But this time for sure, Marcus is like really trying to retire for sure. Yeah. And Will Smith, I think, like you mentioned, he doesn't have anyone. All he has is this job. Yeah. So he can't let it go because of that. Well, that's where we are emotionally, I think.
And what I liked, I love the new one. And I still now can't figure out which one I love the most, but I'm leaning towards this new one.
I like the new
one. But it's mostly because there's so much depth this time around. Because
it's way more emotional.
You're dealing with some darkness. You're dealing with actual real circumstances because there's characters dying that you don't expect to die. There's things happening to the characters
like
that you don't expect.
They're saying things that oh my gosh,
everybody there's one specific scene in the movie. Everybody in the theater like gasped when it happened. And there was two, but one of them you kind of know the outcome of what it's going to be. The other one you don't see coming. It's not in the middle of anything. Because a lot of times in an action movie, they'll tell you something's about to happen because you'll see somebody locking a gun, loading a gun, or somebody driving down the street while somebody's having a conversation. You know what shooting is about to happen, right? There's a scene in this that you see nothing. It's just a discussion in the middle of the daylight at like a park, and something just happens, and you're like, "What?" And then there's like there's one element to the film that I personally didn't like. I don't know if I told you or not. I didn't really like the twist.
I knew it was happening.
I kind of knew that's where they were going, and
I don't know. I think it bothered you more. Like you audibly were like, "What? Are you kidding me?"
Well, and I already knew, but I was like, ugh.
No, see, and I knew it was happening. I was like, "Yep."
Yeah, see,
and you were just more like, "Oh, are you kidding me?"
Because that's because I had a feeling.
Was it too convenient?
Well, it was one of those things. I had a feeling that's where they were going, and I'm like, "Don't be that. Don't be that. Don't be that." I was okay had it been led up like they thought that's what it was. It ended up not actually being that twist, but it was,
It didn't bother me.
It didn't bother me. It didn't hurt the movie.
It was. I thought it was a good surprise.
Yeah. See,
it gave us some depth. But,
yeah.
Oh well.
It was just a thing. It's like that's a popular Hollywood thing to do.
Yeah.
That I don't like. I like. I would have thought it was so much better had they said that's what it was, and then you find it really isn't even true.
Yeah.
Because my problem now, and it bothers me in the bigger picture, because there's a mid-credit scene for once.
Yeah.
That they're clearly setting, and it's already been announced they're developing Bad Boys 4. And hopefully it's sooner than later.
Yeah,
now they can't wait. These guys are
getting
getting too old. Will Smith, 50?
Yeah, he still looks good though.
Yeah, he looks like same as old Will Smith, but
we were watching some other video. He's like, Will Smith is 50? I hope I look like Will Smith when I'm 50.
He's like, I can't wait till I'm 50 and start working out.
Will Smith works out and eats well, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go look it up right now.
Yeah, they're like, I think vegan or vegetarian now or something. I don't remember.
Probably is.
But anyway, it's there's a thing they set up to kind of expand the future of the franchise, right? But when the twist connection to that, I don't understand how we can seemingly make this work without certain things being in place. I'll have to tell you about after the show, because I don't want to tell y'all because it'll spoil it. But needless to say, outside of that little stupid thing, which is, again, it doesn't hurt the movie. Their chemistry is on point. It's funnier. It's more emotional. It's just as action-packed as ever. Probably even more so. I don't know if it's more than 2. It felt like it didn't have it felt like it had some bigger action than 2. But 2 felt like a bigger movie.
It was bigger.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
I like this one.
That whole Cuba chase sequence down the mountains and the shootouts and the exploding houses and stuff seemed bigger to me. But it could just be the locale and the way they did it.
Maybe so. I liked this one.
But I do give it props. Michael Bay shows up in the movie in a cameo.
Yep. What did you think about Kate del Castillo? Because I know it could probably be the Kate del Castillo, the Mexican lady.
Oh, I liked her.
I didn't know how people would respond to parts of it being in Spanish. Parts of the movie
people don't care about that because they've
we're in Miami though.
But you remember all of part 2, there's a lot of Spanish from the Cuban stuff.
Okay.
It's the same kind of thing. You're in Miami, so you can't do anything without Spanish.
Yeah, that's
stuff in Miami. That's what made the first one so weird. There was no Spanish speaking in it.
Maybe that's
why just the opposite.
It's not as good. Anyways, I liked it. I enjoyed it. You need to go watch it. It's good. It's epic.
It is great.
It's action packed, and it's funny because there's this part where he's like chasing people, and he just gives up because he's like, "Go."
Yeah, because their age is.
I thought.
I'm telling you, the running joke with the glasses is just funny because it's showing again. I deal with this. I deal with a similar situation in life with my hearing.
What?
Where because I can't hear, and it's not bothering me, and sometimes I mean I've accepted. I know I can't hear very well, and I don't hear most of what's happening without saying or having to stare at. So that's why I have to look at her when she talks sometimes, so I see what the hell she's saying.
No, it's because I'm beautiful. You can't stop looking at me.
No, it's because I need to see her talking.
No.
Thankfully, that's why I married a woman with such a big mouth, so I can hear what the hell she's saying.
Wow.
But being able to accept that you have to have that help in the glasses is kind of a similar thing. Made me laugh because I'm like, oh my God, I know that you're dealing with this or something. You're like, just do this and listen or pay attention. And it makes it even funnier to me now. Mm-hmm. It didn't make me want to fix it. It just made it funnier.
You need hearing aids.
Huh?
Exactly. Anyways, Bad Boys for Life is in theaters now. You need to go watch it.
It is. It's great.
There you go. That's that.
All right. So moving on. All right. So let's talk about what's coming out this week. Oh, theater experiences.
Oh, Lord have mercy. There are many. Let's see. We went to go see Bad Boys for Life at a screening. It was us and our child went with us. He is a super fan of the series as well.
That's right. He's 20-something years old, so we don't take little kids. Don't worry.
Don't worry. It's a grown.
He's a grown child.
Person. And there was this one. So Daniel and I were first in the theater. Okay, so
yes, because I had to take I had to make the long trek to take our phones back in the car because we didn't take our phones in.
Anyway, so I'm like, the good thing is we can judge everyone while they come in. He's like, yes, that'll be lovely. So we're sitting there chilling, having some snacks.
Because they're not petty at all.
And he's like, oh, that lady. There was this random lady when we were waiting to get in who just started talking to us for no reason.
Oh, the lady out there, yeah.
Yes. And Daniel and I don't like talking to strangers.
No.
You will at least engage.
Engage.
And be polite and say something. And he and I are like, why is she talking to us? So I think he got that from me.
I take the brunt of a lot of conversations for other people.
Yeah, he and I are just like that. So we're like, because then some other lady walked in and sat near her, she started talking to her.
Hold on, let me show you an impression of what my son does when somebody says and does something that annoys him.
Yes, do it.
Okay, usually he has his phone in his hand 24/7. Jexi's going to get him. So he's like this, and then he goes. And he always has to look at me and make sure I saw his face.
He does the eyes.
He'll look at me like.
Yeah. So we get in there and the lady starts talking to another lady randomly. He's like, what's up with this lady? And then there's, people start shuffling in. There's this one man in particular who's sitting in our row. Fine. He gets in our row. He sits down. We're on the last 2 or 3 seats on the end, and this man's like way down past the middle
guy.
On the
now
other
I know
side.
which guy you're about to talk about.
So we're sitting there. You hadn't even come in yet. People are starting to filter in. He comes walking down the row and goes out. I didn't think anything about it, and he comes back. Later on, he goes out again, and he comes back.
At least.
Then you got there.
Yeah.
Then he went out again.
That fool got up at least 5 times. And kept coming the entire length of the row instead of just right out to the steps on the other end.
He was probably like 8 seats in. He should have gone on that side, down
what
the
made
stairs.
It crazier is I didn't know at the time this had happened to them already numerous times. But he went down, he met his woman to get stuff from her.
To get popcorn. She went that way.
He came back
up and walked through all these 20, 30 people to get to the seat. I'm like, go that way. Go that way. I don't know what his deal was. I don't know if he thought if he walks down in the front, everybody's going to see him. I wanted to trip him, but you wouldn't let me.
Because he would have fallen on me.
He needs to stop it.
Or down the steps, and in a way would have stopped the movie.
I don't know what's up with people.
So when we went to see Underwater, before talking about this one was more bizarre, or just a version we've never seen. But I went to the bathroom, and the bathroom was full. So, normal man etiquette of a urinal is you don't stand next to another man if there's an empty space. Mm-hmm. You try to space it out. Yeah. Sometimes you don't have that choice. But there's a guy, and I never understood the guys that use the short urinals when you don't have to.
Is it like the kid one?
It's a kid urinal.
Okay.
Some people will use them, if they're short, I get it. But some people just use them instead, and I don't understand why. Anyway, there was a guy at this short urinal, and I honestly thought he was having a party. And I'm assuming he was shaking his business because he was finished. Mm-hmm. But it was been a quality time doing it because he was just going to town. and I had to stand next to him. There was no other option. So I'm like shuffling up really close, trying to be like.
Because I thought the lesson you taught the boy was you could shake it twice.
Shake it more than twice, you're playing with it.
Okay.
This guy had passed.
There's man rules.
This guy was not at playing with anymore. He was having relations. So, and then another guy comes over there, and there's like 3 toilets on the other side because now I'm having to stand next to people because it was packed. Now it's starting to empty up. So down here, there's like 3 toilets empty. Another guy came in. He's a taller man, so he had to spread his legs apart so he could shrink himself down to pee in the urinal. And I'm like, I didn't say it, but I'm like, there's 3 normal urinals right there. Why did you need this one? Whatever. So.
I don't even, that to me seems like the most bizarre thing. I am so happy I have to use a stall with a door that closes because if I was a dude, I would always go to a stall. I don't want people
here's what's funny is your normal etiquette is you're supposed to stare at the wall.
Right.
Right? You just, in some places like Alamo Draft House and some restaurants, they're nice enough and they put newspapers on the wall.
Oh, that's nice.
And so Alamo Draft House has like little signs of what activities and programming, so you can just read it.
Oh, okay.
You know, keeps you busy. You're not supposed to talk to somebody at the bathroom unless you came with that person.
Yeah.
And even then, usually you're like, shut, don't talk to me, fool.
Peeing.
But it's funny watching people use the urinals because there's urinals they're toilets, right?
Yeah.
They're dirty.
They're gross.
Some people will slam their entire body against the urinal. I don't know if they're trying to hide their business because they're paranoid or so. If you don't understand a urinal for ladies,
yes, please explain.
It's like this, right?
Yeah.
And then the bottom comes out like this,
like a little pea catcher toilet.
Yeah. I've seen people where this thing is between their legs, like they're almost straddling the top of it
and touching it.
I don't know how
because
you
that
can't
seems like
be.
it's nasty. Like
because
you don't want to touch that.
I'm at that weird height where I'm not tall, but I'm not short. I mean, I'm not short, but I'm not tall either. I'm in the middle. And so if I get too close to that thing, my undercarriage would be sitting on it. So I have to get back a little bit, but I also want to be close enough to it to where I'm not exposing myself to the world and also not.
Are there people that do? They don't care.
Oh, yeah. There's people that stand back. They're standing like this. And they've got like 3 feet, and it's doing an arc.
Oh, that's so nasty.
The worst is a trough.
Where everybody just goes together.
Have you ever seen the troughs? There's a bathroom troughs. They're usually at like sporting events.
Like just long.
And it's just a long trough, like lower down. Like sometimes it's just a thing, a little dip in the floor.
Ooh. And
it's just
people. Doesn't it splash?
Yeah, people just standing there peeing.
Oh,
it's
gross. You
get
pee on your shoes?
You can. It's gross.
Oh, but don't wear flip-flops there.
Yeah. But anyway, so then we go. I don't know. I got to pee.
No, but it's interesting because these are not things we deal with. The worst thing I have to deal with is I make sure there's paper all over the seat.
Well, women are gross anyway.
Yeah, it is. The worst thing is you get your paper all set, and then the auto flush comes out, and it springs water on it. And then the second thing is when you sit down, I make sure I sit down. You know, you have to pull your pants down.
Yeah.
I make sure to hold my pants so it doesn't touch the edge of the toilet. Because there's some cochinas out there that pee on the thing. I've walked into somewhere there's blood on the toilet.
Oh, sometimes there's pee all over the floor in the bathroom because, you know, the guys that may have had to pee in the main toilet.
No.
But they said or they spray it up.
Public bathrooms are nasty.
There's sometimes you go in there like literally because if a guy has to pee in the stall, he's standing up.
Yeah.
I've been into toilets where the entire toilet is covered in pee. And it's like, how bad is your aim? That hole is this big.
Did they not do Cheerios like we did with the boys?
I don't know.
That's how you drink.
And most of the places don't have the things to put on it, so you're having to pull out the toilet paper if you want to do that. But if you put it on there and it's wet, it just sinks through. So then you got to pick that toilet paper up and clean it up. Then you got the people that the most baffling bathroom users for me. This isn't really anything.
No, I agree. I know what you're gonna say. Floaters
is when there's pee and there's crap in a toilet with no toilet paper.
Did you just walk away and not
That
wipe?
means they dropped and
You're
left.
a cochino.
Now, if it's a little kid, I understand because little kids might do that. But some of these things were clearly adults that I've seen in my day.
I don't even that happens in the ladies' bathroom too, where there's a turd, but no paper, and I'm like, did you not?
I tried to figure out how did you make? Maybe they wiped first and then the toilet, but I'm like, how did the turd come later?
Or I don't know, maybe they flushed and the turd didn't go down. I don't know. I want to give them the benefit of the doubt.
So
there are some nasty
moving
people.
on from that, the other weird thing we saw was
we're still in the same movie here.
Yeah, that was after the movie. This was during Underwater. We're sitting there and
this was baffling.
These two ladies, I guess first they were sitting, I guess, in the wrong seats. So then they moved over next to near us. So this lady sits down and...
Oh, you're talking about that one. I was talking about the lady before that. Go ahead.
This lady sits down and she starts preparing herself for the movie.
Yes, I'm her. I'm getting in my purse.
And she's putting her purse down. She's moving things around. She's got her popcorn. She's getting all situated. She pulls out a full-size towel and she tucks it in and then she lays it across her entire body.
Here. We're laying here.
She tucks it into her shirt, lays it across her entire body, and then commences eating her popcorn covered in a towel. And I was like, I get it. Like put a napkin or
I'd always just get napkins.
Yeah, I get that.
Put a couple of napkins.
Even though I think it's weird, like I'm like, why are you're an adult? You shouldn't need that. I get it. I mean, your dad tucks his napkin in still. I get all that. But This woman had a towel. Like, I'm talking your bath towel you dry off or go to the beach with. But
like, it was from here all the way down her legs to her knees.
And she was churning
Maybe
that popcorn.
she had super butter and she didn't want to get butter on
I don't know. But when about halfway through the movie, when she was done chomping away on that popcorn, she put it down. She took her towel off. She filled it all up. She put it away, and then she was just sitting there.
That was bizarre.
It was just
never seen that one.
Weird plan. Like this one we've talked about with her bags of popcorn and her shaking and all of her loudness.
I need to go get a new tub for the year.
But it was just weird. It was smart but weird at the same time.
It was weird, man. It was really weird.
So what are the lady? You know what the?
I'm talking about
the older lady. The phone?
Yes, there's an older lady that was there, and bless her heart, she was a little creepy looking.
She looked like she was gonna put a spell on somebody.
But it was strange because I've never seen this with an older person. I see it with teenagers all the time. She was on that phone and she did not look up from it for about 20 minutes before, all the way through the trailers.
Did she put it down for the movie?
She did finally put it down for the movie. But
is that why you leaned forward? You wanted to see if she was off the phone?
Yes.
Is that what you said?
Yes.
Because you suddenly went like this, and I was like,
no, the ladies next to us, popcorn towel lady, she was talking. I'm like, what the frick are you talking about?
I heard them talk briefly, but I didn't know that's what you were doing.
No talking. Anyways, yeah, it was that was the most bizarre group of people I've had in a while. Anyways.
All right.
So many things happened.
So moving on. Let's talk about what's coming out next week.
All right.
So I'll move this out of the way. And this. So this next week, we're gonna have a few different things coming up. We've got the all-new animated Addams Family coming up, which she hasn't seen it yet, so we'll probably watch it and talk about it.
Can we watch it right now?
Yeah. I love this movie. I love this movie, so I'm interested to see what you think. Are you an Addams Family fan?
I am an Addams Family fan.
I know you don't like the Munsters.
And you know what is funny? Yeah, I don't really like Munsters because of them Herman. But
Munsters is genius comedy.
My mom actually likes Addams Family too.
Really?
My mom liked Munsters too. That was her time period, so I think that's what she'd come home and watch.
Well, a lot of people don't know.
Because she's very much into that.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know. They know the Addams Family TV series, but what they don't know is the Addams Family show is based on a series of cartoon strips. It's a comic strips and comic book or whatever.
Is Thing in it?
Yeah. And so the designs, the way they look here is the way they looked in the comic strips. So this is more accurate to the original animated series and cartoon strips and stuff they did that were prior to the original thing. What?
I have a funny story. So one time we were at church, random, and there's the verse in the Bible that's like, we are all different members made up the body of Christ. And my dad was preaching. He's like, it would be weird if just like a hand was walking around by itself. And my mom's like, but Thing does in Addams Family.
Who said that?
My mom.
Oh, your mom.
My mom's so funny. Just random bits of information. But yeah, so we are Addams Family fans. We like Morticia and Gomez. And
that's something I just learned.
Me too.
Also this week, Black and Blue is coming to Blu-ray and DVD.
I liked it.
It was okay.
Yeah,
it was good. Zombieland Double Tap, which you haven't seen yet.
I have not seen, so I will be watching it.
Countdown.
What's that one?
That's that horror film where the app and it tells you when you're going to die.
I want to see that.
We're supposed to be having a copy arrive. I'm assuming it's late, but it's supposed to be.
Okay, I'm scared. But I want
also,
to see it.
A new Jackie Chan movie called The Night of Shadows.
Nice. Nah.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed. It's more of a fantasy kids movie, so it wasn't as good as I was hoping it would be. And the other one that I'm super stoked to finally get my hands on, I've seen it. You haven't seen it yet. I don't know if you even care about watching it, but you probably think that is Jay and Silent Bob Reboot.
I will watch it.
Which is technically a sequel to Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, but also to all the other movies that they've done. And there's some very important things that happen out of that movie, not just Kevin Smith going back to his roots and redoing something with it's a reboot kind of thing, but also because he made that movie, it rekindled his relationship with Ben Affleck. And so there's a lot of things happening.
Good.
So
it was good because then when he got the star in the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Ben Affleck came and spoke.
And because of the success of this movie, he's back to doing Clerks 3 and Mallrats 2 that everybody thought was dead.
There you go.
Because the original scripts for those movies became this movie.
Oh, wow.
And now he's back. He's talked to the guy that played Randall. He's agreed to do Clerks 3. So there's a lot of this movie's taking him back to the pinnacle of career and redoing things and kind of moving on from there. So we have those, and then do you want that, or do I talk about giveaways? You need to talk about.
I need to talk about what's coming out. So coming out at the theater this weekend, we got a variety of things. It's really interesting.
I thought it was a pretty small week, is it not?
It is, but there's a variety. So the first movie is based on a true story of a Vietnam vet hero called The Last Full Measure.
Samuel L. Jackson.
Yes, and it's about a guy who stays behind to help rescue some people. So I think we need to watch that just for to support people. Then this one looks creepy, you guys.
Oh, I can't wait for this
The Turning. It's the one where the nanny shows up to take care of the kids, and they're like, "How did your parents die?" Ooh, we can't tell you. Don't go into that room.
My favorite line in the trailer is that little girl. She's like, "What happened to the last nanny?" And the little girl goes, "I'll never tell." And I'm like, that little girl is awesome. I don't know.
Well, and I like that little boy.
That's Finn, whatever. He's from Stranger Things and from It.
He was also in the movie with the bird and the painting.
Oh yeah, the Goldfinch.
The Goldfinch.
He played like his gay friend or whatever.
Yeah, and he was like a little German.
He's one of those kids that's having this insane career
because really good,
he's one of the main cast of Stranger Things. And then of course he was in both It movies as one of the main kids.
Yeah. In this other, he's good.
So
then we have The Gentleman, which
that's
we
one
weren't able to see.
Yeah. That's another one that was at the top of my list of wanting to see.
Ladies and or men, if you like men, this is for you. We got Hugh Grant, Guy Ritchie, but most importantly, we've got Matthew McConaughey.
You got Charlie Hunnam.
Charlie Hunnam, if you like the muscle guy.
You even know who Charlie Hunnam is?
Yes, he's the guy from the.
Who's that?
He's a knight.
Of all the things that man has done,
I didn't watch that other.
I know, but you chose the King Arthur movie.
I liked it.
I liked it.
I know nobody else did.
I liked it fine.
But I don't care.
That is Jax, man.
Okay, he's Jax.
Sons of Anarchy.
Whatever. Go watch The Gentleman.
And Pacific Rim
And then also coming out is this movie with Sarah Paulson. So I haven't been super excited, but it's called Run. It's about a little homeschool girl who finds out her mom is doing something kind of creepy and we don't know what's happening, but the little girl's in a wheelchair, so she doesn't have any way to get out. I've seen something, I think.
Okay.
Anyways, it's interesting. Everything else is limited release. So
cool.
there's a few things.
I'm going to try to see Doolittle. I was going to see it this morning.
I'm not feeling that personally.
I know you're not, and I was going to go see it this morning.
Well,
it's not getting good reviews, but I was going to go see it this morning, and then my foot was hurting, and I have
there's 4 new movies.
And I have an art deadline, and I realized we had enough for the show, so I just decided to put it off.
Let's try to see all these movies. There's 4. What else are we doing? Oh, I have a job. Never mind.
You have a job? We got shows to catch up on now too.
I know, man. TV Tuesday is going to be hot.
Yeah, we got all kinds of. You want to be there.
You need to be there.
Really quick, we'll knock out the contests that are happening. We've got 3 contests going. 2 of them are fixing to end this week. One is giving away.
We found out the is the mystery to make everything work for you.
I tend to do that, make that sound a lot.
And then things go okay.
Usually it's if I have to carry my bag for my Taekwondo class after I get home, I'm trying to get out of my trunk. It catches because my trunk opening is not very big, and it catches, and so I'll stand back.
Is it?
I'll just keep doing it until it goes off, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And then I'm stuck.
But then today I made the sound.
Yeah, and it fixed it.
Yeah, it did.
I told you. So anyway, we're giving away a 4K copy of Joker,
wow.
One of my favorite movies of last year.
It's a good movie.
On 4K. Don't worry if you don't have 4K TV. It also comes with the Blu-ray and the digital code.
There you go.
So you can still watch it. And it gets to start your 4K collection for when you can't afford to get you a nice 4K setup.
You can do it.
And you should because they're awesome. Also, we're giving away, another 4K of Gemini Man. We talked about Will Smith today.
Fancy.
Bad Boys for Life. We're giving away double the dose of Will Smith.
Bad boys.
Not one, but 2. Twice the Will Smith action with Gemini Man. And yes, this also has the Blu-ray and the digital, so you can double your dose of Will Smith. And we're also giving away a copy of a movie called Trauma Center with Bruce Willis.
Okay, cool.
I can't get you hyped up and excited about that. I haven't seen the movie, and it's a Bruce Willis movie.
Are you not into Bruce Willis now?
I love Bruce Willis, but he's basically been he's kind of taken the road of Nicolas Cage and a lot of straight-to-video movies, and a lot of them are phone-in things. So outside of Motherless Brooklyn and what was that? What was it called? The one that was Death Wish Was it Death Wish? Yeah, Death Wish.
Death Wish.
When he remade Death Wish. Those are about the only two that felt like a good new movie. Since then, he just shows up in these little bit parts and, hey, the guy works to work. He's working. That's his business. No judgment here. Yeah. I just hope we get to see him do a little more or something soon.
All right, then. So, well, thank you so much for watching this week's episode of Hollywood Matrimony Live. We are at episode 178. Can you believe it? We've been doing this for a long time. That's what it said.
Oh, okay.
I follow what's on the TV, on the website, whatever. Check out our website, HollywoodMatrimony.com. Thank you so much for watching us on YouTube and on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter.
Oh, is it my turn?
It's your turn.
Join us or join me tomorrow for an all-new episode of Martial Arts Movie Mondays,
Judy,
where I honestly don't know what we're talking about yet.
Okay.
I picked the movie we were going to do. We were going to do a two-for movie, but I've gotten busy, so unless I get a chance to watch it, because I refuse to do the show unless I rewatch the movie. Okay. Because I want it nice and fresh.
Well, you have time because it's MLK. And you have
I'm off tomorrow, and I have an art deadline, so I might have time to knock one out tonight and one out tomorrow. So we'll see. And it is if I end up doing the one I want to do, it's good starring one of my favorite martial arts actors currently out there. And I may even showcase my new prized possession on the show. That's pretty cool. Also, it's martial arts related. Also, come back on Tuesday for an all new episode of TV Tuesdays.
We have a lot to get to.
And it'll be later in the day, not necessarily in the evening. But we do have class in the morning, and I have a doctor's appointment.
Go get your physical.
Look at me. I look like I'm the epitome of health.
I know, but everybody needs a physical. Huh? Everybody needs a physical.
Huh?
Everybody needs a physical.
See what I did there?
I got it.
Anyway, and then come back and join us for an all new episode of Hollywood Matrimony Live, where we talk about all the fun shenanigans at theaters, the movie reviews, the people, the food, and all the things in between for you, the fans. And that's it.
Thank you so much.
There should be a couple of other giveaways popping up here this week, I believe, for a couple of big movies that are getting ready to come out. So we'll see what happens.
All right. Thank you for watching.
Is there anything I wanted to promote?
No.
I thought there was.
I don't know then. I don't know this information. You didn't tell me.
All-Con's coming up in March, but that's all I got right now. There was something else.
I posted a link.
Yeah, I don't remember what else is coming up, so I guess I can't promote it.
That's
Sorry.
it. Thank you so much.
Sorry, fellers. Peace, love. Remember, be nice to one another. And feel free to send me cash.
Bye. I gotta go.